Hey, so this startup raised 3.2 million with the spec check. The goal of this video is to show you what they've done correctly that you should copy and some other things that you might not want to copy. So, without any further introduction, let's get started. So, the first thing here that I love is their title. It's really good. You're right there on the slide and you directly know turning knowledge into a superpower. So, and plus they have the image. So you arrive here and you know what they're about. You don't know exactly what they do or how they do it, but boom, you're not lost. Like you have the start of the thread that is here. Then you go to the next slide. And here, traditional knowledge management has failed. So the good thing here is that they use headline, right? I'm sure that when you looked at that slide, you looked at this, right? Like it's hard not to look at the headline, and this is actually how most people work, right? They use something called I don't remember the name of the shit, but there's a framework that says that if you read everybody reads the headline. That's the point. Now, what's also really good here is that you have a little tile here with what this is. This is the problem. So you're right here and directly, boom, you see, this is the problem. So okay, I'm going to learn about the problem, and you're not losing the investor right away. Then, what I'm less of a fan of is that some image here, like if you just look at that image, it doesn't help me understand nothing, and this doesn't help me understand nothing. So here they kind of here, but they don't help. They use a bit of kind of vague word. Most knowledge is unstructured. What does that actually mean? And you can discover it while you read this. Like more than 80% of the company knowledge is unstructured data, such as email and document. Okay, so that's what they're trying to say, right? This is email and document. I think that they could have better visualized this here or even mentioned here. Like this data, 80% should be probably mentioned here. Then same things apply here. Like you have a lot of apps, so this is better, but like business 11 different business app daily up from six, like this can be definitely visualized. Like that's what you would want to do with this, right? And again, they've raised, is it a game killer? No. Is it a better opportunity to communicate your message better so investors actually understand what you do and value more what you do? Yes. Same thing apply here. Now, this is really good, and this is what most founder always forget. It's like you have a problem, and then what's the impact of the problem? And then here, the impact of the problem is clear. Employees are wasting time in searching and gathering information. That's great. I love it. Now, a little design trick that I always use when we do our decks is you read that this employee are wasting time searching and gathering information. And if you had this from another color, it breaks the text and make it easier to read. Like employees are wasting time searching and gathering information. It's a little thing, it's a little trick, but science says that you should do that because it make it easier to read. Now, here what I don't like is that I see those numbers, but I have to read the fine print to actually understand what they are. I'm being a bit annoying here, but again, my theory here and what I've proven to work for, we helped raise over 130 million. And my theory is that you need to make the information easy to consume. And if it's not the case, like here, then, kind of sucks. Or lost possibilities, right? Anyway, now AI is the greatest productivity promise of the century. So I think I like this slide. Like the narrative here is really good. Like the narrative, you should appreciate how good it is. It's like, boom, we want to do that super cool thing, and then you get introduced to the problem. You know the impact of the problem. It's wasting a lot of money. Then here you introduce the solution. Is this really needed? This company raised a few years ago, so AI was not as big as it is today. It's still it was already pretty big, but still. Then boom, the solution, and then here I think that here is not really useful. Like we don't really need this because nobody gonna read that. So I would just remove that. But anyway, then we go here. What I hate is that they had wonderful headlines and somehow they don't put it here anymore, right? It's like, oh, where the fuck is the headline? What am I looking at? And it's somehow I would have liked to have this more like here. So then this is a great infographic, right? You have all the data sources, and like even if I don't quite read what they've done, it kind of makes sense, right? You have all the apps, and then you have all your shit, and I'm like, yeah, makes sense, right? This is a great infographic. Good work here. What I don't like on the use case, I would have expected them to have some kind of traction here. And this is where usually I would put the traction. So I don't know exactly where they were when they raised that. But here, if you have traction, which you should if you're raising a seed, X my other videos. But yeah, you should definitely put your traction here. I don't know where is the traction, but it should definitely be here if there is any. Then here, great, not the best. I don't care so much about this. Like, what I'm missing is this. Like it, those data. Ideally, you would be able to compare it with what's the today data, right? And here, it's not really done. Proprietary AI technology. Again, here, like, there's a point of adding a lot of content to your deck, so that if they're passed through an AI to be reviewed, it's you can the information get processed. But here, like, who will read that? Like, it's just too long, and I'm like, oh, I'm bored. I don't want to read that next slide. Right now, let's have a look at how they've done their market slide. So here, what I don't like is that I don't know how I'm getting to that number, right? Like, I kind of have to figure it out myself. Like, there's the 250, I guess, times, I don't like 200. There's 250 businesses that are bigger than 500. No, that are bigger. There's 500. I don't even know, because there's what they say here is that there's businesses, there's X amount of business that have more than 250 staff, and the accumulation of those staff is 500,000, 500 million, 550 million employees, which great. I mean, I'm being picky here, but here, I'm missing a point. I'm missing the amount of company here is not here. Anyway, and also what I'm missing, and which they would definitely put, is that if your framework, if your reference is 500 million employees, and it seems that you're charging per employees, then where the fuck is my business model? How do I, revenue generation, how do I charge? And it's not here. However, what's great is this, right? Like the business metrics of who they want to target. AI, now what is this? Yeah, great. I'm not sure I would put that here. I think it'd make it a little busy, but why not? I don't hate it. Um, yeah, what I hate, I think, is the fact that they don't tell me exactly what, like, they should introduce that idea, right? Like that their target and who they target, and they don't really have it here. Now, oh, as you probably could guess, I'm not English native, and I come from Switzerland. So recently, one of my clients came up with this. Also, it was like, hey, like, we're focusing in Europe, and I'm like, great, but why should I care? Like, how, like, here, what is this like telling me? Like, oh, our market focus is those, right? This region is called the DACH region. Beautiful accent here. But why do I care? Like, mine was in AI and infrastructure, and it happened that because of regulation in EU, your AI infrastructure need to be different. And so if you focus on one market, then it make you very specific, right? But here, I'm like, why? And here again, like, plug and play. Like, what does that mean to be plug and play? Like, I look at this and I'm like, knowledge, knowledge hub, and I'm like, yeah. So it's here. It's like it's comparing, and that's a big mistake that I see often with competition studies. Like, it's comparing features, but I don't know why those features are so important, right? Like, is the knowledge graph key in making me save time? Maybe, or money. And again, this should relate to what you have uh, here, which it does not. Milestone, great. I love to have milestone. Let me have a look at what they have. And they kind of mix milestone. This is a mistake. Like, they mix milestone and achievements, which doesn't make like they mix milestone and traction. It's not a mistake per se. I think like, it can be done. Why not? But I think the problem is, like, top 10 data aggregator. What am I supposed to understand? Enterprise search. Like, what am I like? We validate the product market fit. How? Like, who are your client, right? Now, we come to the piece, right? When you speak about our friend Jan and Pierce, um, those guys, they can afford to have a deck that is, there's good. I'm sorry, Jan. I'm sorry, Pierce, but not wonderfully amazing deck, right? It's good, right? But the reason why they will invest in this guy is because of this, right? Like he's sending this to his friend or previous VCs, right? Two previous exits. And so that's kind of the, right? That's kind of the trick, like you might be, hey Ben, but does tech raise? What does it need to be better? I'm like, yeah, because this guy has two exits, and and this guy seems pretty fucking impressive, right? Not that you're not, but maybe you don't have two exits. Um, What? Okay. So I don't know. Why not? I don't mind having this here. Obviously, this is really strong. I think this could be itemized to be more readable. Like if there was on different bullets, that would be better. But I'm surprised that there is no traction. Like, hey, where is the traction? Again, that's what you get when you are a super co-founder. Um, we're raising a pre-seed to accelerate, blah blah blah. Okay, why not? The problem is that, like, and again, this is a problem. It's like accelerate go to market. Like this should be linked to here, and here we have cost center. Okay, so probably this is a deck that has been anonymized to some degree, but perfect timing. Like this is a badass client. Like you should say we are raising X to the Y, and then here is like, well, here we're raising really X because they didn't show it. Yeah, not cool. So that's it. Bunch of things to learn for you. Now, if you want me to review your deck, just send it over and I'll review it live on the channel. That's it. Ciao, ciao. Have a good one.